everybody, and thank you for joining us for this episode. I have a really exciting guest, and it's coming ahead of a really fantastic event that's happening. The CEO of Atari, Fred Chesnais, and his impending IEO on the Bitcoin.com exchange. Fred, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much as well. Thanks for the invitation.
No worries at all. I mean, it was fantastic to get you on because Atari, it's a storied video game, console and game company from, if you're of a certain age, you remember all the classics, whether it's Asteroid, Centipede, it was part of your youth growing up, depending on where you are. But, one of the great, fantastic things that's happening is that you guys are actually doing an IEO. And folks, if you don't know what that is, that's an initial exchange offering on the Bitcoin.com exchange. That's happening October 29th. But tell us about the experience of Atari going into the digital space. I mean, there's some stuff around this token that's coming out and what it's going to be used for, but just give us how you guys stepped into digital currency.
Yeah. So yeah, digital space, because Atari kind of created that space, right, a long time ago. I think it's really a journey. So I could make a 2-hour presentation, so I'll just keep it short with like 2 minutes. It's the company was created in the 70s by Nolan Bushnell, which I'd like to thank also on this podcast. But the point is that the company went through a series of transitions, owners, ended up with Hasbro. And then I was part of the team in early 2000. The French company, bought the Atari brand from Hasbro. We renamed the company Atari. There was a kind of change of management, 2006, 2007, where everyone's left. And then the hedge fund blew up and put Atari into bankruptcy early 2013. So I came back. I was able to survive the bankruptcy process in the US. The situation was quite desperate at the time. We had 1 million euros of revenue and more than 30 million euros of debt. So I was able just basically to go through that that phase. And today, so we're doing games. That's of course the DNA of the company. We have licensing, not really t-shirts because that's the old days, but we do toys with partners, arcade gaming machines. That's the second business. And the third one is the mini computer, the Atari video computer system. And for us, it was very natural because as part of games, we've always created and managed digital currencies, soft currencies in any video game. So I think it was very natural for any video game company to look into the space. So why Atari? Well, first, because I'm a big believer in blockchain. I have always supported the initiatives. As everyone, I hope I would have started sooner, but it is what it is. And so today, yes, the project we have is really to try to create a utility token of reference for the video game industry. And this is really for us, it's a very natural evolution. And when we see, the audience, when we have our games, our applications, when we look at other people's applications, it's very natural for us to just basically be in the space. But at the end of the day, you need to have a team pushing an initiative, and we are pushing.
Well, I mean, you're one of the saviors of Atari, right? Going back to the bankruptcy, you made this iconic brand continue to grow. And to your point, tokens in a gamified atmosphere it's a natural fit. So it's really great to see the company doing it. And when it comes to the token itself, there's going to be use cases for it within the ecosystem. Whether it's for in-game purchases. I heard some speculation, maybe DeFi down the road, but tell us a little bit more about how the end users are going to interact with it.
So first and foremost, it's important to understand that every blockchain project is a very long-term project. It's not going to happen overnight. So the idea for us is to start, with the basic use cases. If you look at, so on the website, it's called AtariChain.com. You have the list of partners we've signed up. There are more that have signed and that we have not announced yet. But the idea is that it can be used by an individual or a company. You should think about a matrix. Either I am an individual or a company. As an individual, I may want to use it to buy avatars from another player or use game. I may also want to use it to purchase games on the blockchain. So we have as partners, for instance, RoboCash or Ultra.io. And as a company, you may want to use it to also pay for certain applications provided by other companies or other individuals. So it's really think about a matrix. And the point, which is, I would say, super important, is that we want that platform, so that network to grow. And we had two options. The first option was, why don't we just, Atari, create the app, the website, the app where the Atari token can be used. And it's only on that, I would say, network or on our network that you can use a token. That's option A. Option B, we can say, you know what we want is to reach mass adoption as quickly as practicable. And in that case, it means that we have to basically offer the use or allow for the use of the token by any other platform. And we've chosen the second option. And I think it just makes sense given, it's impossible to have it all, so to say. So being able to basically sponsor the emergence of an Atari ecosystem, as you've said, is really the goal. We don't want to just say, hey, it's one platform. It would have been impossible in any case. So it's better to help a lot of people. And we've also brought that basically a little step further by saying, hey, if you want to use the Atari license to create new games, new apps, I mean, we're open to that. So we've already signed some licenses for people to create games on the blockchain, on their blockchain, using our brand and our games. Think about Animoca, for instance, with the sandbox. I've been working with them for many years now. So it's really a mass adoption that we are trying to shoot. I don't think that we know everything, so it's better to help other people.
I think it's cool. I mean, and the way you're going across the licensing of the games, creating the internal ecosystem for the token. But even on top of that, there's even more news, and that is it's been a couple of decades, but you guys are planning on releasing your first console since way back then, the VCS. And I've seen some pictures of the VCS, and it's cool because it's like retro, right? So it has I saw one picture where it had a little bit of a wood thing on it, like the old days. But tell us about this, like this console, and the timing of it with the token seems to be great. But I mean, as a company, how excited are you all around with these two big events happening?
No, we're excited. I think so. It's a mini computer because when we say console, people tend to think, okay, we're going to be like Xbox or Sony PlayStation. So I mean, it would have been impossible to do something like this, coming where we're coming from. So it's a mini computer, at 8 gig of memory. I think it's a good deal. It's based on Linux. It's fully customizable. You can upgrade it. You can add memory. You can install operating systems. So it's more so the website is atarivcs.com. Please check it out.
Yeah, no,
it's for everyone's benefit, but it's more what we call it a hybrid system. It's a personal computer with a console type environment that we're going to curate. So because the only question is always, okay, what's the content on the console? And it would have been impossible for us to recreate, all the content that's available today on this console. So it's really a mini computer with a console environment, and we're going to, of course, build the content, over time. When you look at the App Store today, that's the image I always give. When you look at the App Store today and you compare it to what the App Store was on day one of the first iPhone, It's just it's mind blowing, right? What has been created.
It's just it's a whole growth business. And you know, if the content coming out, and then you know complements the hardware coming out, the upside is unlimited. To your point, it's just it expands every day, every year. It's great. So definitely, folks, check out Atari VCS.com for that, as well as Atari Chain .com for more information on the whole token and the ecosystem that they're building with their partners. Down below will be in the description will be all the information you need for this token sale. It's coming out October 29th. So write that down in the calendars. On the Bitcoin.com exchange, there'll be a link for the exchange as well for this token sale. And you know, I'm sure Fred will agree. We hope you guys take part in it. It's going to be fantastic, and I'm really excited. Are we going to have, or we still can play Space Invaders on the VCS, right?
Yeah, it's a game by Taito. It's not by Atari, unfortunately. No, but it's very funny because everyone has played these games on the original Atari 2600, and it's great for us because people believe, oh, you own Pac-Man because it was on the Atari 2600. Yeah, no, unfortunately for me, well, you know, the rights have expired, but at the same time, if the rights, the publishing rights had not expired, I would never have been able to buy the company. So, you know, it is what it is now. But you know, I mean, what's great is that all these games, you know, everyone knows them, and at the same time, it's not only the you know, your generation, my generation, it's also millennials or even younger people, just because they love the history of video games and they're like, oh yeah, they don't necessarily play the games, but they know what the games are about, and yeah, they very recognize the logo. So it's
everybody know Atari is one of the most storied video game companies in history. I definitely hope you have a whole line of T-shirts and stuff you're putting out, because myself included, millennials will wear anything with the Atari logo. It's cool.
Yeah, but it's difficult because, you know, even for us, you know, we all make mistakes. There are things you look backward and you say, okay, that was a good move, and you have other things like, whoa, maybe we should have done it differently. But at the same time, you know, it's you have to do something. So yeah, it is what it is. But in France, we say, you know, that there's one coach for the national football team, and you have 50 million people who want to have the job, but there's only one job. So it is what it is.
Well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people watching you guys the end of this month, and definitely for the VCS drop. So, you know, Fred, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy, and you know, again, for everybody, go to the Bitcoin.com exchange, October 29th. The Atari Token public sale will be there. It's under the ticker ATRI. And it's going to be phenomenal. I'm looking forward to it. Fred, thank you so very much for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Ben. Thanks a lot.